Welcome to the Ask Me Anything session of the Tucson Macintosh User Group meeting for March. And we're glad that you're all here. And we're glad that Alexis is here too. And does anybody have any questions for our experts, otherwise known as Stump the Chumps?
Stump the champs. Come on now.
Okay, well, I guess we're all done. I'll see you in an hour.
Okay, I have a question.
Uh-oh.
So my client I was working with this afternoon has an iPhone 13 on iOS 17 and a MacBook on OS 14.4. And I was trying to set her up on Find My, and I couldn't find My on her phone.
Oh, jeez.
So I know it's under your Apple ID, and it just wasn't there.
Well, they moved it on the Mac on 14.4, where the settings are. So go under on your phone, go under Apple ID. Whoops, wrong one here.
Yeah, I can find it on my phone, but I couldn't find it on her phone. So
And
I'm wondering, is it tied into iCloud Plus now?
No. On the phones, it's always been in the same place. On the Mac, 14.4 moved it. So
Where are you at?
Yeah, it's interesting. I can't remember, but I find mine's always been on the top page.
yeah. And on the Mac, it's not anymore. It's buried.
Okay, so it's under internet accounts, apparently.
Because I get to.
Well, are you looking at the Mac or the iPhone?
I'm looking at the Mac now on 14.4.
Okay, on the Mac, go to iCloud. So click on your name, then go to iCloud. Then click on More Apps.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it used to be all by itself. Now it's
It used to be by itself, right?
under more apps. Okay, so that solves the question on the Mac. And I'm looking at my iPhone, and it's right where I expect it to be on my iPhone, but it wasn't on her iPhone.
Did you restart her iPhone?
No, I didn't do that.
That's the first thing I would do is restart the iPhone.
Kevin,
Chances are it'll show up again.
would you do that again? I'm on my phone under Apple ID.
Nope, on the phone. So on the phone, you click on your name.
Yeah.
Then you should see Find My under there.
It's in the second section in the third position.
Okay.
But on the Mac, where it used to be in the same location, they moved it. So if you look on your Mac, going to your system settings, if you've got 14.4, click on your name. Then under the iCloud section, let me see. Let me double check this. And click on your name. And then you have to click on iCloud. And then click on Show More Apps.
Okay, find my Mac and it's on. Okay.
And make sure that you have your network settings to wake on network access. Otherwise, Find My Mac will turn itself off over time. And that's in the battery section under.
Why couldn't they just put those in alphabetical order?
Because it's Apple and they like confusing us. So the new network option for it, which used to be in Find My, is now under you have to in the system settings, click on battery and then options. And then have its wait for network access needs to be always. Otherwise, if your Mac is asleep or anything else in low power mode, it'll Find My Mac won't work.
Wait for network access should be on. Is that what
It needs to be set to always.
I just have on and off?
What version of the operating system are you?
14.4.
On mine, there's a toggle where never always on. Oh, yeah, I'm on a laptop, so mine says never only on power adapter or always.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's probably that way on my laptop,
Yeah.
which is what I want. And I have a short Find My story. Today, Gretchen was going out for a walk and she wanted to use her AirPods Pro, which she hasn't used for some time. She couldn't find them. And so she got something else and she used that for her walk and got back and then used Find My. And Find My said, oh, they're over in Green Valley. And that was last spotted on the 14th. And she said, I bet you it was the cleaning girls who were here on the 14th and they probably snatched them. And we figured out that on the 14th, she had a dentist appointment in Green Valley and then stopped at Three Girls Pizza to bring home a pizza for dinner. And this spot was very near there. And I said, I bet you they're in the either in Three Girls or in the parking lot someplace. And so she was going to call that, and she finally figured out the battery was dead, and it was in her purse. So,
So does that mean it records the last place it was before
it shows the
battery died?
last
Yes.
place that it saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to turn that on, I think.
It used to be on by default.
Well, when I was reading up on this earlier, it indicated that you had to turn it on. Last seen location, I think it's called.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it used to be in the older operating systems, you had to turn it on. With Ventura, they made it automatic, and with iOS 17, they made it automatic as long as you had location services turned on.
Yeah, so on 17.4, you go to Find My, and you click on Find My iPhone, and then you have three choices: Find My iPhone, which would be on; Find My Network, which allows you to find your iPhone even if it's offline in power reserve mode, and then Send Last Location is also a switch which automatically sends the location this iPhone to Apple when the battery is critically low.
And one of these days, they're gonna leave it alone and not change it.
Not
I need to
likely.
go all the way back to where is Find My Mac on my iPad? It's under settings, I'm guessing.
Are you, what iPad OS are you on, Logan?
Let's see. 17.4.
Okay, click on your name
Okay,
and then it should be right there.
all right. Right now, this says iPad 2.
If you click on your name, it should say you should have options for scroll down right, it'll say iCloud, media and purchases, Find My, and then family sharing if you have that. And then a list of devices.
Well, not under name.
No, not name of the icon. So get to the main section of settings.
Yeah,
On the very top is your name.
okay,
And tap that, and that's where Find
okay.
my iPhone is, or
All
Find
right,
My is.
okay, all right, I got it. Thank you.
And another thing that I liked I guess it was in 17 point something 3, where they have Find My Watch. Your watch can now find your iPhone. So they've added that feature to the Watch OS.
And I recently tested that your phone because I was at the grocery store, left my phone in the basket, and a mile from my house, my wrist is telling me that I left my phone.
That's great. Great.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. The headset that I have that I wear all the time, if you get within 30 feet of your phone, it'll let you know that your phone is left behind, which has saved me many a times.
Yeah. Well, that watch has saved me 3 times since I bought it in September. Because
That's great.
I was waiting for a hip replacement and I fell at home. People knew it, but I landed on my left hip, and that was the hip that was going to be operated on. But apparently, when I landed on my hip, it broke off the bone spurs on my hip. So I don't need surgery anymore because the bone's gone.
Well,
Do
Custom
it
surgery.
yourself.
Yeah, so
You
that's
should.
2. Then the third thing is I have a weak heart and I've been getting AFib messages from my watch. So that was one of my better decisions to buy a watch.
Yeah, no kidding. That's great.
Yeah.
I have a general question. I've noticed today that I'm on Cox, that a lot of sites look like they're all almost under DDoS attacks or what. Anybody else see that?
Yeah, my client that I was working with this afternoon was on Cox, and we were trying to validate her PayPal account and also validate her Apple ID, and those emails never came through. And we actually, I ran a speed test, and there was nothing coming from Cox. I power cycled her modem, and we got Cox back, but those emails hadn't shown up by the time I left. So something's going on with Cox, I think.
It's
Well,
intermittent.
so far, no problems, but cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a podcast on Rumble, and about halfway through it, it just froze up. And I tried everything to see if I could get it go again, but ended up going to some other podcast, and then I did a speed test, and I'm going, oh boy, on the what's the what name of it? One of the speed tests has an option where it looks at all different sites and what's going on. And Cox was in the blue, but there was tons of them in the yellow with warning signs on them, and that's why I thought, well, maybe a damn DDoS attack or something that's going on out there in the web. That was earlier this morning, probably around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm on Xfinity, so I didn't notice anything here.
Okay.
Other than all the spam I keep on getting. And I have spam filters on my phone. So it's that time of year, I guess.
I guess. Where do you start approaching November?
Yeah, well, I keep on getting all these voicemails from the IRS. So
I've
You
got a
guys use-
general question.
what was that, Tommy?
It used to be that I understand it for a long time, Apple had as a default search engine DuckDuckGo, and they have moved on to, I think it's Bing or Google.
Google has always been their default. They allow DuckDuckGo, Bing, and And there was one more that was odd equus or hold on a second. And you select it in your Safari settings under search engines.
No, I know, but why? That they did, what, DuckDuckGo wasn't their default search engine?
Nah, it was never their default search engine.
Oh, okay,
No.
Google was, it's Google, Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, and Ecosia. I have no idea what Ecosia is. I've never used it.
No, neither.
I use one called Start Page, which uses Google. It's just that it doesn't track you. It takes out the ads and the tracking cookies.
oh, okay, start page,
Yeah, startpage.com. I've been using that for about, I don't know, almost 10 years now.
I'll try that. Although I
Yes,
have
Tom, you had a question?
no complaints on Google, on DuckDuckGo.
No volume, Tom.
I say I have no complaints on DuckDuckGo. My volume's gone?
Nope, Tom McCory.
Oh.
There
I'm
goes.
here,
You're,
Tom. I'm hearing
Tom,
you.
you're on mute right now.
No, I'm hearing Tom.
Oh, McGrory, you're muted. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know anything about Gemini and the iPhone and AI?
You're echoing. Rumor has it that Apple and Google are going to be partnering with each other to bring it to the iPhone, but with all the bad press that Gemini has had, I can't imagine Apple actually doing that. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I use DuckDuckGo. I was researching something for a friend on dialysis. And my email was deluged for about 3 months with dialysis stuff. So that's why I switched to DuckDuckGo. Got really tired of that. I should have used a privacy page and I forgot. But yeah, I mean, there are times when DuckDuckGo won't work 100%. And I still have my Safari. I use DuckDuckGo as a browser, actually. And then there's also the Safari, the purple version of Safari, the future technology one. So that's a little bit lighter weight. My problem with Safari is it just takes about half a gig of memory with all of the, pages and stuff and tabs I've got open. But yeah, I mean, it works okay, but just be ready to go to a second one or go to Google if you need to. It seems to work fine. I was curious earlier, when services are down, I never think to look at this, but maybe somebody's smarter than I am. And do you look at down detector to see if it's actually been reported? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good.
checked down detector and there was no indication.
Oh, I've got tons.
Really?
One of the things that you
Interesting.
could do with Down Detector that I like is, since I have my own server and my NAS lets me get a static IP address or a dynamic DNS for my computer, and you can plug that address into Down Detector. So if my web is ever down, they'll drop me an email.
Oh,
So even if my internet is down, it'll come up over the phone or something like that. So when it says, this domain is down, I know I have an issue with my internet going down. And it's worked really good that way.
I'm looking at Down Detector right now, and Hulu's Hulu's in the red. PlayStation Network is red. Twitter, Apex Legend, Max, TikTok, Smite, Yahoo, Mail, all in the red, and then a bunch of them in the yellow. Spectrum, Steam, Peacock, Fortnite, Apple TV, Roku, Windstream. Well, there's tons of them in the yellow. But Cox is blue. Zoom is blue. There was an update to Zoom tonight, and it just took forever for it to download. And I thought, well, gee, okay, here we go again, but Zoom is in the blue, so I don't know. I had not realized that down detector was built into Speedtest. Kind of
Oh,
cool.
the Ookla speed test?
Yeah, let's see, who is this? It's the
OOKLA.
black one with the white little
Yeah,
L on
really?
it, yeah.
Another good speed test is DSL reports. 'Cause they'll give you other if you're on Cox and you do a speed test there, they'll say within the last, or at least they used to say, within the last hour, we've had this many people, and these are the problems that we've detected on Cox or Xfinity.
Yeah, I suspect this is not Cox. I suspect this is something more widespread on the internet. I don't know. Anyhow, we're working okay right now.
Yeah, I need
Roger,
to
was that you that said that Cox did not report on down detector today?
Yeah,
in
this
the
was
blue.
like about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I checked down detector, and there was no real, big blips.
I've seen that before. I wonder if people give false reports to down detector.
Yeah,
Or no reports.
right.
Yeah, oh, okay. Interesting.
I just ran it a minute or two ago, and there's a bunch of them out there in the red and in the yellow, but the ones we're on right now are all in the blue, and they seem to be working okay. I don't know. Hey, it's election day, right?
yeah.
I find that my watch only advises me of a WhatsApp or a message when it wants to. Anybody got an idea of how to set the stars right consistently?
What was the question, Tommy?
My watch only tells me that I get a WhatsApp message or an iMessage when it wants to. Stars are set right.
I get them all the time.
I have all that turned off, so
Is that Siri that's giving you the message?
No,
Okay, I don't know, because I have it going to my hearing
supposed to
aids.
vibrate when it gets a message, but it doesn't always.
Yeah,
And you get a notification on your watch saying you have a message.
No, it's supposed to, it vibrates.
yeah.
It's supposed to vibrate, but it only, it
Is that-
sometimes does and sometimes doesn't.
I've noticed that if I have messages open on my Mac and it's the frontmost application, like I just used it, if I get a message coming in from somebody else, say Chris Wesselman, it will show up there on the Mac, but it won't show up on my watch because it's already delivered it to me.
right.
So
That's same thing on your Mac. If you have that as the frontmost message, it'll just show up. It won't give you a beep or anything like
right,
that. It's
because it figures you're looking at it anyway.
right.
Even if I'm in the other room,
Right.
as oftentimes when I stand up, Gretchen says, "Well, where are you going?" And I've told her 99% of the time I'm going to either the kitchen or the bathroom. The other 1% of the time I'm going down into the bat cave to save the city. But usually it's the kitchen or the bathroom. And she stopped asking that of me now.
Good answer, Bob. I'll try that.
Do it when you're out of arm's reach.
My daughter lives in Tangerine Crossings, and they had a big shootout this morning at 11 o'clock.
Tom McGorry, you are echoing terribly.
Tom,
And I'm
you're signed
guessing-
in twice.
I'm guessing it's because you're signed in twice.
Let me go out.
Once when I can see
All
you,
right.
I can see you move.
All right, let me
The other
see.
time, your image is static.
There we go.
Okay.
Right now.
So now you got rid of the device you had video on.
Now
And
you need
don't-
to mute,
you don't-
unmute again.
Okay, unmute, Tom.
Roger, can you unmute him?
I sent a message for him to
Okay.
unmute. And I sent a message for him to start video.
Well, there was a book a couple of years ago called Life After Google. And I forget the author. He's picked up some criticism because he's a bit of an egomaniac. But he talked about how the internet is fundamentally insecure. And they had a chance to build security in at the outset. And they said, nah, we'll do it later. Well, that's the same nah that caused Fortran to break 3 decades after anybody thought it would still be used.
Tom Magori, there are two, you signed in twice again.
Unmute Tom and give it a try.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. And for whatever reason, we're not getting the echo problem we had before.
Okay. Very good. Sorry about that.
It's okay. You're still signed in twice, but it's not going to increase your chances of
Oh,
winning
come on.
the super prize, the annual raffle. Because
Yeah,
I'm watching you, Tom.
I thought I got that one by you.
And he's gone.
Does anyone here use Gemini with Google?
No.
I use it for text. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. I know the graphics are all screwed up. That's why they had all like that publicity and stuff. But
I dropped out for a second. I didn't hear what you were saying, Tom.
I use Gemini for text only, but I know they had trouble with their graphics and they had to take it down. I guess that section of it, but
Well, the old saying is garbage in, garbage out. So
yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the big changes. There's been a few stories of Apple buying access to quality data for AI training instead of scraping the web and getting random junk.
yeah, the only stuff I've used AI for is scripting. When I come across something that doesn't work, and still having a problem because with 14.4, Tony, do you do any Apple scripting?
I usually use Terminal.
Well, a lot of things don't work in 14.4. They removed a lot of drivers and a lot of like you used to be able to query your network SSID and using a script, and it no longer works. So half my scripts stopped working. So love Apple when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, whatever they did broke a bunch of print drivers apparently too.
And hubs and older Wi-Fi cards.
Well, I noticed that the relay is an IP relay. What kind of relay is that goes on and off? We were down near, went down to Parker Canyon Lake to take a picnic down there. And the relay went off and then it came back on again. And I had turned it off by default, but apparently it's back. And Apple thinks we need it. So I don't know. Do you, Kevin, do you or Tony have any thoughts on that relay thing? Is it really worth it?
The hide my, you mean like the hide my stuff?
I, Tony, isn't there something deeper than that that's actually part of that IP relay stuff?
No, it's part of the hide my.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I've got all that stuff turned off because I use a VPN when I don't want to be seen.
I had a nice situation today on a VPN. I turned it on. I checked what's my IP, and the IP was correctly in the area where I was, where I wanted to be. And I did an operation, and they sent me a report with my IP here where I'm sitting. How did they do that?
What were you doing on the web that went while you were doing when you had your VPN on? And what VPN do you use?
Tunnel. I use Tunnel.
I'm not familiar with
Tunnel
Bear.
Bear.
Yeah, Tunnel Bear or
Yeah, Tunnel Bear.
Hmm.
Bear, right. What is it called?
oh, I
Yes,
don't know. I don't. And what were you doing? What website were you going to?
I was doing a bank transaction.
So when you're at home, you shouldn't. You should only use a VPN when you're not at home, primarily. There's no need to use a VPN when you're sitting at home, unless you're doing things on like I surf the dark web, stuff like that, where you want to be on a VPN.
Well, no, the point is, that isn't the point. I was doing it, something in Colombia in South America. And so,
Well, yeah, but the way a VPN works, when you go to a website like a Show My IP that's going to register what your IP is, that shows your final IP. When you go to some websites, when you make the query to the website, you're using a DNS server. And not all VPNs tunnel DNS servers through the VPN. So you could go to a website where you're on your VPN and there's this thing called an RTC leak. And what that does, that allows the website to see where you actually are, even though you're on a VPN.
oh, fun.
And there's a website that you could check. Let me get it. It is called ipleak.net. And it'll tell you your IP address. It'll also tell you your DNS server addresses and what the DNS server is. On a lot of these, you may be on, I don't know if you're on Cox or Xfinity. It may show that you're on Cox and then your DNS server is on Cox. So they're able to query the DNS server to see where you are. A good VPN will hide both your DNS queries as well as your IP traffic.
What is a good VPN?
I use two. One is called Windscribe, which I really like because they have a filter in there.
How do you spell that?
What's it called?
Windscribe, WINDSCRIBE. And I get credit if you sign up for them. Let me put a link in there in the chat. I wouldn't mind getting some extra credits from them. Hold on a second. And the other VPN I use is called AirVPN, and that's done by a bunch of hacktivists. It's a little bit more complex and robust. It's not as easy to use as AirVPN though.
you mean as Windscribe?
As Windscribe, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Well,
And Roger, you're on Windscribe now. I believe I set you up with that.
Yes, you did. Works great.
Yeah, that week had a crazy deal where I was able to get a year for $10 a year for the service, as long as you keep it. And I had like 5 of those coupons, and I gave Roger one.
Yep, I use it when I'm in Mexico. Works great.
What?
So
Can you put it on multiple devices?
yes, you can put it on as many devices as you want. Windscribe is really good. And they have a firewall or a filter called Robert, which when you set it up properly also acts as an ad blocker for your web browsers. So I just put a link for that in the chat. If you do get it, I would appreciate if you use that link.
Okay. Look right into it, see if I can copy it to my
Yeah,
desktop.
I've been using Windscribe probably for, I don't know, close to 10 years, I think, whenever they first started.
Why can't I paste it onto my desktop?
You should be able to just click on it.
Does it have foreign locations?
Was that?
Does it have foreign locations?
Oh yeah, it has. Let me go look, locations. It has a bunch of US West, Central, Canada West, Mexico, US East, Canada, Antarctica, Panama, Colombia, Ecuador, Japan, Peru, UK, Belgium, Taiwan, France, Germany, Chile, Slovakia, Ireland, Netherlands, Finland, Estonia, and that's only a quarter of the list.
Great, great.
And they also, for added security, they have a plugin for Firefox, if you use that, where you can sign in and you use double VPN. So you could have Firefox in one country going through your primary VPN in another country. Makes it really hard to find you.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And this was Ask Me Anything, sponsored by.
Me. And Tommy, if you do decide to get it and you have any questions with setup, feel free to email me.
Okay, thanks. I'll do that.
Do we have any other Tesla owners in this meeting tonight, or am I the only one?
I think so.
Just an update on neural network performance. This week I received the version of full self-driving beta that is fully neural net. What comes into the cameras goes through the neural net and it drives the car. And it is amazingly better driver than I am. It's unbelievable what this neural network's doing. And of course, you see, what is it? Vivicon is funding a separate area that's going to provide a common basis for all these robots that are being developed by all these various different companies. And they're going to turn it into, so you have basically a common standard of how you train these robots to understand speech and move and act like humans.
Wow.
Well, it's we're living in a really interesting but somewhat scary times with how fast the technology and the power of our computers And the new chips that are coming out. I guess Vivicon's really a big leader in this whole area there. I think I saw their latest chip is it either 200 or 2000 teraflops? Which is pretty damn impressive. Anyhow, a little diversion there, but neural nets and all this chatbot GPT and Grok and whatever else is out there. Kind of interesting stuff.
It is. It is.
If anybody's gone over to OpenAI's website, it used to, when you go to open.ai, it used to go right into Chat GPT. It doesn't do that anymore. Now it goes to a AI image generator.
Nope, haven't done that. I'm kind of watching Grok. That's over in Elon's camp.
It's all scary. I just watched last night a movie called The Creator, which was about AI robots that decided they wanted to be free and they bombed LA.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's,
No
scary.
no loss.
True.
It's I guess the real scary part is the singularity. When it gets to that point where are they totally in control, that they kind of say, hey, you know what, these humans are kind of worthless. We don't need them anymore.
They
That
probably
is a
won't
scary
tell us
point.
just when they get there,
Yeah.
only when people start to disappear.
Yes.
Hey, answer me a question. What does GPT stand for?
I guess we all know.
Deafening silence on that one.
It's
Generative pre-training transformer. How's that?
Oh, springs right to mind.
GPT is a kind of artificial intelligence that we talk about, AI.
Who's on the tip of my tongue too, Kurt?
Well, I think the basis in these neural networks are transformers. That's one of the key elements that make these things work so well.
Jerry, your video is frozen.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Seem to be staring down permanently.
Wikipedia says
There you go.
That's better.
Okay, now it's working.
There we go.
generative pre-trained transformer. Is that what you said, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay, that's what Wikipedia says. And even they know more than I do. Most people do.
Yeah, I hear that. And just think of all the things that we forgot that the young people don't even know yet.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the less I know.
Well, there was a saying years ago, it's not the things that you don't know. It's the things that you don't know about.
Right.
And I am finding more and more that there are things that I have no clue, that I don't have a clue about.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Well, I can tell you back in the 70s when we were developing GPS on one of our test flights, the ground control was talking to one of our test positions up there, and we were flying in what we call a racetrack. And he called up and he says, "Are you flying clockwise or counterclockwise?" And he responded, "I don't know, we're digital."
Well, it also depends on whether you're looking up at it or looking down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. Most kids don't know how to tell time on a clock.
Yeah, that's true. Or what does it mean, dial a telephone?
Or try to explain a party line to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
It's like a threaded email message.
yeah.
Ah, yes. Instead of Wikipedia, it was
Funkin'
direct
Wagnalls.
assistance.
Encyclopedia
assistance. Remember
Britannica.
Yeah, remember the old books, the Americana Encyclopedia?
that? Oh, God. Compton's Encyclopedia. I had one of those.
Well,
Right.
Compton's was color.
Yes,
I remember we had those brown leather books.
right,
That was just text and a few grayscale pictures.
right.
And that's how you did your book reports.
You got it.
In our house, it was Funkin' Wagnalls. And that's because mom could get them with stamps through, I think it was
S&H.
Kroger.
Yes,
Oh.
it's green stamp.
S&H green stamps.
And so,
Yes, I remember those.
and so, I need to do a report on such and such. Well, I'm sorry, we've only got through Q. We,
There's also Collier's Encyclopedia.
Yes, yes.
We had Grolier's.
We had the Americana and then Britannica after that.
But we
They
were
were
so
sold
far,
by
we just had the
door-to-door
library.
salespeople.
Well, I think my dad used to smoke these cigarettes called Raleighs.
Yeah. And you got coupons.
Right,
Yeah.
and they had coupons in the cigarettes and in the carton. That's how we got our encyclopedias.
if you save up enough of those coupons, you can get an iron lung.
Yeah, maybe that's what his comment was.
Well, yeah, my dad did pass away from cancer, but he smoked a lot. So, but
You think
Well,
in the
we certainly
future
have, we
the
certainly have
robots
taken
will
this
shut?
discussion tonight to a very high level.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
It's
Will the
building its way
robots shut it
down.
down in the future? The robots will come on and say, Bob, this isn't a worthwhile conversation. Like,
Right. They'll scold you. Right.
well, it's entirely logical, though, that at some point the computers will figure out that we're the problem.
That's right.
Humans are the problem.
They're like a
Yep.
bacteria. They keep reproducing. Let's get rid of them.
Yep.
Well, it looks like it's time for us to take our little break.
Probably
Main
necessary,
meeting.
too.
Unless there's a last minute question.
Nope, I'm sitting here with my legs crossed. I'm gonna have to go. So